Well, the excitement never ends. And here's Gunner all revved up for today's show. He's having a good time. Anyway, yes, Gunner the Wonder Dog is back. There he is.
Right.
How you doing there, buddy? Yeah, he's
in his post-treat coma.
I'm afraid, he was kind of, the first few shows we did, he was very nervous about coming up here. And now I think we haven't frightened him enough. And now he's just kind of, he gets too relaxed too
totally
quick.
in his comfort zone.
That's right, yes. He's all in his comfort zone. So anyway, I lost my mic here. Hang on just a second. I've got to grab that again. We are going to talk more about the eyes and the eyelids and taking care of the eyes. What are some of the things we need to think about when we're in terms of care?
Sure. Well, actually, the care equipment and tools that you need are very few and far between.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked a lot about things that to pack for your pets on the road in some previous episodes. And the only thing we're really going to add to that today are just some artificial tears ointment or drops. And you've already got your gauze and stuff and your fine comb in your packs already. So, like I said, not a lot of tools. A couple of things we need to remember that on the road, we're going to be more likely to run into situations where we could have an increased chance for eye trauma. So, damage to the eye, infections, and are going to be probably the biggest things that we have to worry about for them. And then, of course, just rotten timing for all the normal things that happen to eyes that maybe just happen to happen on the road. So the first thing that we're going to do today is I'm going to show you how to take care of eyes and put some eye medication in and clean around there, and then we will go from there. So so sometimes when you might want to give a little extra protection to eyes are going to be maybe potentially bathing and grooming, traveling. We all, love to see those little dog heads hanging out the car window and that kind of thing.
Right.
And that's just such a big practice builder because
really?
Things happen.
Making money.
Yeah,
well,
so,
you also see but of course people kind of know now that you don't let the dog hang his head out the window. That's a big eye. That's a danger
huge.
to eyes. Besides the fact that you shouldn't be doing it for other reasons, but yeah.
Besides just the safety thing, actually, that is how Gunner came to me. Is he came to me with a broken leg, and the reason that he had broken it was that he was in a car, jumped out of the open window, got run over by the back tires.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
And the lady who owned him, had brought him in, and through a course of events, he ended up staying at the clinic and living with our family. But
wow.
He's so car windows hold a special place in my heart. But if you just take a look at your windshield and see all the things that are on your windshield and that you've been running into at between 30 and 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, those grasshoppers this big and things like that.
So we're going to stick your eyeball out there and subject that to that. So that's not a good idea.
Right.
So bathing, grooming, traveling, all of those types of things. If you're out camping, going through the park and woods, you may have dogs who are rooting around, sniffing around, running through the brush, all that kind of stuff. So using a nice little artificial tears ointment just gives you an extra layer of protection on that cornea to help prevent problems from happening there.
Okay.
So I'll go ahead and show you how we do that.
All right.
Gunner. I know, you just hate this.
We're going to perform experiments on Gunner now.
It's one of the perks of being the doctor's dog.
Yeah, that's right.
It's just terrible, isn't it?
He's pretty relaxed, isn't he?
He's just really looking forward to this.
Yeah.
So what you'll do with this...
He thinks it's going to be a treat.
I know. He was trying to eat it earlier.
Okay.
You're just going to hold your one hand just on top of the head to just kind of hold it. And then we're just going to literally drop the eye in just like that.
There you go.
What a good job you did.
He's happy.
And some of the artificial tears you'll see are an actual ointment that you just lay a little ribbon across the eye as well. One of the things to remember about eye medicines or rewetting drops or anything is that I will only hold one drop at a time.
Gotcha.
So you don't need to put more in there than that.
Don't go nuts, yeah. And I think one of the things, like you were just doing that, and people think, oh, gee, I could never do that to with my pet. And the same goes for things like pilling animals and things like that. If you've done it a few times, you start to get a handle on, how you hold the animal, that you can use this finger over here to push the eyelid back, which I saw you do.
Yeah.
And it's not that hard. I mean, if you've got an animal that trusts you, you're in pretty good shape. Now, if you have having trouble with that trust thing, then maybe you might have something else going on.
They're a little squealy. So you do want to make it a really good thing, and so we do want to have your your treat or your praise or whatever it is that you're going to do to help kind of reward them and make that a fun thing. So it's just like like the dolphins at Shedd Aquarium. They all, part of all of their training and their positive reward system is putting them in all of the same positions that they need for medical procedures. So when you actually come to do that medical procedure, it's not a big deal.
Right.
So you want to get used to, getting used to having their ears handled and their eyes messed with and getting your fingers in their mouth to brush their teeth and all of those things. And then it's not a big deal when you actually have to do it.
Right. Actually, what we used to do is just let our 5-year-old handle that, because the 5-year-olds will overhandle an animal, and by the time a year has passed, that animal can put up with almost anything. We see that as well.
There you go.
But now, what about cleaning and stuff? You get, some of these dogs get this junk in their mucusy, icky stuff going on.
Yeah.
Should you clean that out? Is it important to clean that out, or other than, other than that it might be getting on furniture and other things, is it a problem for the animal, or what do you do?
Yeah, you do want to clean and watch around the eyes themselves. You'll see some breeds will get that little tear staining and tend to get a lot of goobies. The Shih Tzus and the Lhasas just love to make these giant goobies. That's a technical term, by the way.
Goobies?
Goobies, yeah. And so you do want to clean those out. You can just use a nice little moistened gauze square or lint-free cloth to get that off of there. If it's dried and crusted on there, soak it off. Soak it to get it soft again first. Don't yank a hard, dry, crusty thing that's all in the hair and try to yank it out right there.
Right. Yeah.
And and again, it's just something that you get your pets used to having you do. Not a big deal. Some I don't hardly ever have to clean Gunner's eyes at all, but some dogs really produce a lot of stuff there. Okay. And it's important to keep an eye on it because especially in the dogs who produce a lot of goo in their eyes, because if that changes character at all, then that can signal a problem.
Right.
So,
okay. So on the road, what do we have to worry about? What are the things we need to be concerned about? And I mean, should we pack an eye care kit and that kind of stuff as well, or what do we do?
Yeah, most of the stuff that you're going to need for the eyes are going to be in the first aid kits we talked about. You want your eye wash solution, your gauze, your artificial tears ointment, that kind of thing. There's really not a lot of other first aid that you do to eyes, but we will talk coming up about things that are that's a problem, maybe low on the freakometer kind of thing.
Right.
Let's keep an eye on that, and then we will deal with it when we get back home. And then there are some other things that you need to be pulling into the closest veterinary hospital as soon as you can. Okay. So we will talk about those. A couple other just real quick tips about taking care of eyes, whether you're at home or on the road. If you need to use a dryer at all on your pet, you want to make sure and avoid their eyes. So you're not, A, blowing stuff into there, or B, just drying them out.
Right.
That hot, it's called a dryer for nothing. And if you have a pet who has a hair coat that needs to be groomed regularly, make sure you're talking with a groomer about how to trim around here, that these are staying nice and short and away from the eyes. And then the biggest thing would be the other thing to put in your kit maybe is a very fine-tooth comb, because you can also take, when that stuff is soft, and just literally comb it. You mean
like a flea comb even? The same thing you might use for a flea?
Yeah, and you would just very, very gently just pull that right through there.
Okay, great.
Again, only if it's soft and gooby, not when it's all dried and crusty.
Okay, now that we've learned about goobies, we're going to take another break here. We'll be back in just a minute, so stay with us. We're going to be talking more about eyes and your pet's health on Tales from the Road. Got a question or a comment for Dr. Jill Windy? Get in touch at tales@rvnn.tv or leave a voicemail at 877-578-RVNN, extension 705. Hey, why not email a photo of you and your pet on the RV trail? We love pictures, and we might just use it in an upcoming episode. Follow RV Newsnet on Facebook and Twitter, and you can receive text messages to alert you when we're streaming live by texting RVNN to 72727. That way, you can join us live in the chat room, ask questions, and become part of the RV Newsnet family. Remember, any photos or other material submitted to us become the property of RV Newsnet and cannot be returned. Today's show is brought to you by Angie's List, where you'll find thousands of unbiased reports and reviews about service companies in your area. Whether you're looking for a roofer, plumber, house cleaner, dentist, or even a doctor, Angie's List members share their experiences with each other so that you can choose the service company that's right for your job. Companies can't pay to be on Angie's List, and the reviews come from people just like you who have had experience with the companies mentioned. To find out more, go to rvnn.tv and click on the Angie's List ad.